Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name is Tavershima Ayede. I'm your host. I'm a former lawyer turned business consultant. Today on the podcast, we don't have anything particularly structured per se because we're still in January, or rather, January is coming to a close, January of 2026. And you know how it is at the beginning of the year, cleaning out some stuff and taking review. Well, actually, I should have been taking review, November of December last year. So don't be like me. Do all your reviews at the end of the year, not at the beginning of the new year. So I was trying to take stock of the kinds of customers, clients, people that I've worked with over the last couple of years, just trying to take stock about how much progress I've made and, of course, planning for the future. Again, don't be like me. This is what I should have done November and December and not January of 2026. So, yeah, I looked at the list of former clients and I think it's quite impressive. I mean, it's not bad. So I decided to come over here and share the kind of people that I've worked with in the past, just in case you happen to fall into any of these sectors, any of these segments, and you would like to hear my professional opinion on a couple of things that you might be going through at the moment. So that's just what we are doing over here on the podcast today. And then, of course, as usual, the podcast is recording today's episode at home. And I have brand new neighbors. They're moving in. So they're making a bunch of noise, hammering and screwing and sawing and buzzing and all of that. So I expect to hear some noise in the background. Now, I would say one of my longest running clients, because I think we've had one form of engagement or another over the last, should I say, like 2 years, is a chap. I won't use his real name because the guy is publicity shy. He's involved in solar installation and inverter sales based in Lagos. And so the first engagement was to try and see how we could get his team of three salespeople. Let's see, what was the first engagement again? Okay, for the first engagement, we were trying to get them to adopt a CRM. Now, a CRM is a customer relationship management tool. And unfortunately, lots of salespeople do not know that it's important and that it is the key to you making progress in sales. Now, a customer relationship management tool or a client relationship management tool is just simply the tool that you use in your business to try and track who you're currently having conversations with, who you have had conversations with in the past. What stage of the business relationship are you currently at? Do the people have to do anything for you so that you can move this business relationship forward? And then what activities are outstanding that you need to do, for them to move this business relationship forward? So essentially, think of a CRM as your, like an office assistant, where she keeps all the information and you use that to keep deals on track. Because lots of times, the reasons why we're not closing deals is because we're forgetting little things. You discuss with Madam Ogedengbe on a Friday. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who've been hearing me say Madam Ogedengbe actually is a real name. It's because I moved to Lagos when I was about 13, and the church that we started going to then was Our Lady of the Holy Rosary in Ogba. I can't remember if it was Ifako. Ogba, I think it's Ifako, I think. I can't remember anyway. So, yeah, one of the local governments in Ogba. And it was one of those Holy Ghost fire kind of churches, So that was really interesting. I mean, coming from Abuja, I was used to more solemn, more quiet homilies and masses, Sunday services, only to land in this Holy Ghost place. People are clapping, they're jumping. I say, like, what's happening? Is this not a Catholic church? Like, what's going on here? And one of the people in that church, it's not as if I was friends with her, because it was actually my mom who knew her. I can't remember if she was a lay reader or not, people who read during the service. And at the time, it was the weirdest name I ever heard, Ogedengbe. So Mr. and Mrs. Ogedengbe. So it actually is a real person. So just in case you're listening to the podcast and you live in Ifako, Ogba, or Ijayi, I can't remember where, and you happen to go to that church, and you're wondering, is it this Madam Ogedengbe? Yep, she's the one. That's the reason why I've never forgotten that name, and that's why I keep using it. Oh, by the way, I remembered Ogedengbe because I was listening to a podcast. I think it's the Founders Connect podcast. Also, another interesting podcast you guys should be listening to because we Nigerians are beginning to make waves in podcasts. We're doing our own thing. So it's not just my own podcast that is here, but there's also another podcast by the Nigerian Economic Support Group or something like that. NESG, Nigerian Economic Support Group. They have their own podcast. Then there's also the Afropolitan podcast by Eneche, and I can't remember the babe's name. They're a married couple, and they interview lots of interesting people in the entrepreneurial space on the African continent. They've interviewed Vuzi. Yeah, some people say I look like Vuzi. I don't see how because Vuzi is ugly. Me, I'm a fine boy. Although Vuzi as a guy get serious money, so I like my looks, but I'd rather have Vuzi's money at the moment. Then who else? They also interviewed the founding chairman of Seplat, that's the oil and gas firm. Like they have interviewed some correct heavy hitters on that podcast. So Afropolitan podcast, that's also another good one. Then Founders Connect, yes. This babe, I can't remember her name, so is it Etimi something. So she interviewed somebody who currently works, a Nigerian who currently works in works on Wall Street. I can't remember the name of the law firm, but the guy is in all these mergers and acquisitions and stuff like that. So I think she was trying to interview him as per what is it like, to be like a village Benin boy who gets a scholarship to Harvard, and then now you're in this high flying career. So like, what is just getting his perspective, Sha, because of course the guy still based abroad in America. So where was I? The guy's surname is Ogedengbe, so that's how I remember Miss Ogedengbe. So back to what I was saying now. So my guy now, my one of my longest running clients, Julian. Oh crap! I said I wasn't going to say his name. Okay, forgive me. Pretend I didn't say it. So we're trying to get his sales team on board because they didn't realize, like lots of Nigerian salespeople, that your CRM is the key to building your sales career. Because the thing is, you will talk to Madam Ogedengbe on Friday, and Madam Ogedengbe will say, okay, no problem. This thing sounds interesting, but I have to enter village sharp, because one or two things is happening. Then I'm going to be back in Lagos on the 27th. So let's talk around 28th. And you say, thank you very much, ma. But then you forget to put it in your CRM. And because you're a human being, you will forget. You will quarrel with your babe, or maybe you and your wife will have pregnancy scare, or let's see, what else? Or you fight with your landlady, or maybe you just watch Netflix and you forget. And that's how one day you will now wake up the next month on the 14th and be like, yeah, I was supposed to have called Madam Ogedengbe last month on the 28th. You're now scrambling. You call her, she won't answer. By the time you get through, she said, young man, I'd say you should call me last month. You didn't call now. So my son brought somebody else who is into solar, and we have fixed the system. And you lose deals like that. In fact, I made a podcast episode. It was just a bloody mess about how I was on one of his salespeople. I was on the guy's case. Like, look, this madam seems promising because I'm the one who made the call myself. All I told him to do was, on the day we are supposed to call her, remind me. The guy didn't put it in CRM. Of course, I'm a consultant. I'm doing my own thing. I can't do your job for you. The guy forgot. By the time one of the team members said, how far would that woman in Port Harcourt? You say, yeah, it's true. And then lo and behold, the woman has gone. And I think she ended up buying the system for, how much was it again? Was it 10.2? I'll be 18.2 or something like that. That's how that system just missed. And that thing really vexed my spirit. And I had to tell him that, look, you see, this is the reason why salespeople have to be married to your CRM. As a salesperson or as a business owner, you should be married to your CRM. You have your spouse, but then once your spouse has gone to her office or has gone to his office, you go and meet your second spouse, the CRM. You open up your CRM and then you start looking. Who are my customers, my contacts? Who are the people on file? Who are the people on system? Who am I supposed to be talking to? Who did I talk to last? Who am I supposed to call today? Who am I supposed to call next week? Look around and start arranging yourself and putting your ideas in order. So Yeah, that was the first time that I had to work with this friend of mine and his team. So it was on implementing a CRM. Let's see what else. I can't remember. That was maybe 2, 3 years ago. But we've done some work since then. More work since then. We've also looked at lead management. So lead management is when you get people who have indicated that they might be interested in your product or your service. How do you follow up sharp sharp? Although for those of you who listen to the podcast for any length of time, you know that some of us traditional sales trainers prefer to say follow through. So, how do you follow up, in quotes, or how do you follow through with these people so that you do not lose track of a juicy deal? So we've done some work on with that, and of course we've done lots of other things as well. Then on the roster of people that I've worked with, I also have a web developer. Okay, that one was still currently in the mix because he's developing bus transport solutions for Nigerian companies. And I think he has some exciting stuff. Let me not talk too much. So currently working for a web developer, and we're trying to see how we can improve his prospecting game. Like, this is the service, this service works. This is the value proposition. It's a profitable thing because this is how much they pay you. These are the payment terms. And the guy on his own, without talking to me, came up with a risk mitigation strategy. Now, the idea behind risk mitigation strategy is this. Risk mitigation just means when people meet you for the first time, they think you want to collect plenty of money from them. And so because of that, they're afraid, especially since we're in a harsh economy. So everybody go they play cool or play it tight to your chest. They won't be talking too much. But then when you say, now look, relax, relax, and then you come up with risk mitigation strategies by saying, oh no, don't worry, it's not really a risk because if this happens, this is how we'll solve it. Or if this happens, this is the guarantee. Or if this happens, this is the warranty. Or if this happens, this is the indemnity that I'm giving you against this happening and this happening. So risk reversal strategies, risk mitigation strategies. Abi? Risk reversal, risk mitigation. I can't remember if they're the same thing. I should go and study. So, but the whole idea behind this is that when somebody is in front of you and the person they fear because, this thing is risky, oh, the money is big. And then you come and say, oh, no, 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 no. This is how we take care of this risk. If anything happens, this is how you're protected. It just gets people to, they calm down. Then they can listen to you and hear whether this is a good deal or not. So let me not talk too much about this web developer because he has come up with the most interesting risk mitigation strategy I've come across in Niger. And when the guy told me, I wanted to stand up and clap for the guy. It's just that, it was an online call. So if I stood up and clap, because we're not doing video, the guy won't see me. And then, he won't feel the effect. But I wanted to clap. And I say, I say, you know what? This is brilliant. Brilliant. That ordinarily, this solution that you're proposing, if other people were to charge this in and collect their money, they'll be charging, as much. Because I heard of some companies. Okay, let me not call the company in case the gist is wrong. I heard of one company that implemented a similar solution, and they wanted to collect, is it 5M or 15M from him or something like that. The first time I heard it, I shout, I say, only 5M for a website or 15M? And then the developers who were around me at the time, they were saying that, look, is it because you see all of us here like this that rate us? That actually is hard work, that this was involved, you do this, payment infrastructure, one thing, Sha, they explained this, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that building websites is that difficult. So, ordinarily, it should be something that where people will drop big money. But this guy came up with a very interesting risk reversal strategy. And once he said it, I said, my guy, this thing is a no-brainer. So I told him, just draw up this list. Let us be tackling these people one by one by one by one by one. I said, no how. We go to close plenty deals on top of this thing. So yeah, currently working with a web developer. Then I've also done some work in the past with a creative director for music videos. For him, it was nothing directly sales related per se. It's just that there were a couple of contacts in his space that he wanted to improve his networking with. So excuse me, because in that space now it's a matter of who it's not like websites or solar. where you can start chasing people down one on one. You guys to network with people. Like for those of us who watched that documentary about Puff Daddy, and the whole scandal. So you can see in the beginning, Puff Daddy was laying his connects, connected to this guy from what's that record label again? The record label that signed Heavy D and all of them, and Andre and all those people. So you go to network. So for the creative director, that's what we were focused on, expanding his network, and then also trying to take advantage of the networks that he already had. So that's the work we did with the creative director for music videos, and the guy on the rise. I was surprised when the guy sent me one of the link. I said, "Let me see who you work with." By the time I saw some names, when I saw Badosne, in my mind I was thinking, "Yeah, I undercharge this guy. I suppose charge him millions. If these are the people that he's rolling with." I said, "I didn't know that this guy is rolling with Badosne. If not, I will collect serious money for a hand." Well, anyway, that one has passed. So let's see what else. Okay, fashion entrepreneur who wanted to increase his presence in the wedding space, Abuja based. Then we've also done some work with someone who is into. Okay, no, that's someone we're currently working with into audio editing and production. So his primary business is taking Nigerian authors who write in the non-fiction space, and then they make an audio book, and they list it across several platforms. So it's supposed to be a way of getting secondary income from the book, not just book sales. And then it's also about expanding the author's sphere of influence, and also giving the author access to a wider audience. Because if it's just physical copy, you will buy your book in Nigeria. If you blow, maybe your book will sell in Ghana, maybe South Africa. But once you do audiobook, you're available worldwide. So somebody in New Zealand can say, "Oh, I heard of this Nigerian author. Let me see his stuff and then buy it and then have access to it." So currently working with that guy, and the focus is on how to learn how to sell better over the phone. And of course, we are currently looking at how to revamp the sales process. Then, my wonderful brothers and sisters, I've had lots of conversations with real estate professionals in Abuja. The first real estate training that I did was for Kairos Real Estate. Supposedly, that is the real estate development, what do I call them now, agency, a B player, that is owned by Dibanj and his brother. That's what I heard. While I was in the office, I saw Dibanj's younger brother. Well, I didn't see Dibanj, by myself. But anyway, that's just I heard anyway. So the training that we did with them was how to close the deal in real estate. I think that was the biggest one I did, because I think their sales team was like, I think, was it like 13, 15. So that's the biggest real estate training that I did at the time a few years ago. But since then, of course, spoken to other real estate people, currently working with a real estate professional in Oka. So, Mr. Ogochuku, I'm hailing you live on the show. I can't remember your surname. If not, I would have called your surname too. So, currently working with Mr. Ogochuku on how to revamp his sales process as well. Excuse me. And then he has one or two big deals that we hope we can help him close by the time we're done with our training session. Then I also have some guys in Benin. I won't call his name because he seems like a very private person as well. He is into mobile accessories, computer accessories, gaming consoles and accessories, and music, lifestyle and digital basically. And he had a store in Benin. And the work I did with him was we're trying to get his sales team on point. He had a team of three females. Yeah, that was the first time I worked with an all-female team. It was fun. Also because they were much younger than me, so that was interesting. That was interesting. That was the first time that we organized training and somebody won't show. And I say, "I like, what's up? Like, you didn't show up." He said, "I was tired." I say, "Hey." I said, "I should them be," because I had heard gist that I'm not call out any particular generation, but I've heard that a certain age grade in Nigeria, like, they just can't be bothered. Like, it's their job, but if they're tired, they won't come to work. If you vex and you sack them, they'll say, "No problem." Then they move on to the next job. So That was my first time of seeing that kind of thing. That we call for meeting. The trainer will say show, or guy will say show, and then the next day you say what happened? You say I was tired, so I was sleeping. I say hey, I say okay now. I say I'm glad I'm not an employer. Anyway, but apart from that, it was really really interesting. The rest of the team, oh sorry, four sales, yes, four sales reps, all female, but the rest of the team were really on point. I like the way they took to the trading, and I'll say the star pupil. Uh, anyway, let me not go too much into personal detail, but let me just the star pupil. Okay, let me call her name. So, Alex, in case you're listening, Alex is you. Alex, you broke my heart. Oh. You really, 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 really broke my heart because you know. Anyway, it's a personal issue because I don't know why nowadays young people are afraid of marriage. So Alex is afraid of marriage and she's making some personal choices that, in my own opinion, she not suppose make. So I think I'll make a podcast episode about that. Young people, stop being afraid of marriage. It is not as big and as scary as you people think. It's not that scary at all. Yes, we hear about the divorces and the this and the domestic violence and the blah blah blah. But the truth of the matter is, for like if you keep it simple and keep it straightforward, and you say you marry your friend and you marry a human being, it actually is quite fun. It has its challenges with finances, learning how to build a home together, things like that. But honestly speaking, if you marry your friend and you focus on marrying a human being, then of course there are a couple of things you need to learn. It will be okay. I'm not saying that there won't be uh, issues, that there won't be problems, but it is not as big and as scary as you people are taking it. So, Alex, if you're listening, yes, I'm talking to you, and you know the questionable choice that I'm talking about. So you suppose make a U-turn, and I still will call you anyway later on the personal note, so we can talk about these things. So the people in Benin City, yes, yeah, mobile accessories, computers, gaming, music, and that one was an interesting environment because lots of the sales that they get was walk-ins because they had a physical location, so it's people walking into the store. So basically, just trying to increase the conversions. So, how many people walk into the store? How many people buy? And then we start trying to increase the conversions. Now, a conversion is when you get a potential customer to take the next step, the next smaller step that is required or that would help you close the deal. So, if somebody walks into the store and say, "Do you have iPhone charger?" and you say no, and the person walks out, then you know that's bad. That's very very bad. As in no conversion at all. You didn't convert anything. But if somebody walks to the shop and say, "Do you have iPhone charger?" and then you say, "Hold on one moment, let me go have a look. Oh, by the way, what kind of iPhone is it?" And the person says, "iPhone 17 Pro Max." You say, "Oh, actually, yes, we do have a charger. Can I have a look at your phone? I just want to be sure. Is it a Type C or is it a Type something?" You have a look at it, and then you go, and then you come back with like maybe like four chargers, and you say, "Yeah, we do have chargers. This is what we have in store. We have different options here, as you can see. Each of them ranges from between 50K to 170K per charger, depending on what it is that you want." If the person shouts and say 170K, you say, "Ah, my brother, it's iPhone 17. It's a Pro Max. The economy is really, really harsh, but how about we do it this way? Let me just walk you through some of these options, and after that we can decide. We can decide on whether you're interested in picking up one today or not. How does that sound, sir?" If the person says, "Okay, no problem," you see that small step is a conversion. The guy said, "Okay, he will stay in the store." It is a conversion. He has taken one small step. So we had to learn. We had to teach the ladies how to get small conversions one step at a time because it does not pay you if every single day 20 people walk into the shop and then 20 people walk out. Like, where do you think your salaries come from? Oga has to pay you from somewhere. We need to be getting some conversions. We need to make sure that people stop. We need to engage people in a conversation. We need to do some need analysis. We need to show them a couple of options. We need, as in, the stuff we need to do to make sure that if every single day 10 people are entering the shop, at least if like 6 or 7 are buying out of 20 every single day, it's not bad. In fact, then your salary will be guaranteed. Oga will pay you on time, no stress. And lots of you who are employees in Nigeria, you will not understand the psychology of your guys. Let me explain. Nigeria is not like London. Nigeria is not like America. Nigeria is not like Australia. Ogas here are very cool and kind of informal. So anyway, that's part of the reason why they shout at you employees anyhow, because we have this informal thing going on. It has the disadvantages, yes. However, this informal thing also has plenty of upside, plenty of advantages. Like I told them, I say, Alex, this iPhone something something you're looking at, do you know that if you perform up to so 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 and so, and you say, Oga, I'm liking this phone, do you know that Oga will give you? She laughed. I said, if you don't believe me, ask him. Now, the guy who owned the shop, he didn't tell me, but I've been in Nigeria long enough to know that that's just how it happens. And so one day when it was on the training, I said, you didn't ask her, but you said no. And then I said it. I said it live. I said, okay. I said, bro, this is what I told the ladies. True or false? And his response was, if you're giving me this kind of returns, then what is it? Is it not just one phone? And then she said, no, that actually she's not really a phone person. That she would like the money equivalent. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was close to like 700K or something. This was a while ago. And it was not one of these iPhone Pro Max something, something, something. And then he said it there. He said, done. If you personally are responsible for closing so, and so, it is done. I'll give you the cash. So the advantages. You actually can tell your Oga that, look, Oga, this is what's been going on. This is what's been going on. We've been good. I've done this. I've done this. How far now? Raise me something. Your Oga will raise you. That's the benefit of being in Nigeria. In America, in London, it will be a whole formal process. You run it through HR, run it through accounting, something, something. Then, of course, they'll be worried about discrimination. Because if they give something to Alexandra and they didn't now give it to Anita, it will now cause problem. But then this, Niger, if you're able to say with your full chest, that look, Oga, this is what I did last month, this is what I did, encourage your girl, support me, Oga will do something. And for those of you who still don't agree, there's this guy, Sarki Mota. He is a car dealer in Abuja. It's at his place that I saw the purple Tesla Cybertruck that I've been lusting over. It's just that money you have, man, because the car is 430 million, and if you carry me and squeeze me up and down, even if you sell my blood, you won't get that money. But anyway, I'll still continue to lust after the car. We'll get there. So, as I one day now, while I was still on Instagram, I noticed that there was a post. Sarki Mota, one of his sales girls, she was now saying that she wants to thank Sarki Mota because he just gave her the iPhone something Pro something blah 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 blah. And then she turned the camera and then he was there, and yes, he gave it to her to encourage her and stuff. These things happen in Nigeria. You can actually tell your guy that, look, okay, 2025 was a very good year. I was your best seller. Look at the results here. You suppose encourage your girl. Encourage me. He said, what do you mean by encourage you? I said, I want iPhone something, something, something. He said, okay, all right, done. Because superstars are hard to find. They're very, very hard to find. So when your guy knows that this person is a superstar, and okay, what does it take? This year, she didn't ask me for salary increase. She just asked me for iPhone. Done. She didn't ask me for salary increase. She just said I should give her 650K. Done. Because I want to keep a superstar. So that was my guy in Benin. Although he's moving over to Abuja soon, for different reasons. But anyway, that's a podcast episode. They're moving their whole operations to Abuja. So it looks like me and him, we're going to be seeing more often now. So let's see what else. Okay, I've also worked with someone who has a cyber cafe and a co-working space. To be honest, I didn't even know that cyber cafes still existed, especially since it's in Lagos. I just assumed that everybody in Lagos, you have your own laptop. Excuse me, you have your own laptop, your own internet connection. But it looks like it's more about a socializing thing. It's no longer a practical thing. Because back when I was a teenager, cyber cafe was because we didn't have internet. So you go and then you buy time, you begin to browse internet. It was very frustrating back then. You buy 1 hour, but because internet speed was slow, you use like 15 minutes to sign into your Yahoo account. Then you use another 15 minutes to open one email. By the time you click reply, it will take another 30 minutes. Then before you hit send, yeah, the thing will time you out. You don't have to go and buy another 1 hour again and start that whole process. I mean, those days were wild. But then now everybody has internet on their phone. And, we thank God making progress. So it's easy to do business now. Back then, man, it was hard. It was really, really hard. Those are the fun days. So now, cyber cafes, people just go there, people chill. The guy is making money because he's selling coffee and he's selling some. Okay, you can't sell alcohol because you need particular licenses in Lagos and in Abuja. You need a license to sell alcohol. I think in Benue State too, as well. I've seen it in Benue State. You need licenses to sell alcohol. So the guy they sell coffee, egg buns. Sorry, I say egg buns, but my wife said it's not egg buns. That is nothing like egg buns. My wife said it is egg roll. But anyway, in my family, some of us say egg buns because it's buns and it has egg inside. So the guy will sell coffee, egg buns, meat pie, salad. What else? Is it kale? Like some funny drink. Kale. All this. I just got back. People that went to go and school abroad. They come back with some weird habits. Weird, weird habits. You say you're drinking kale. I say, what is this? Is it not bitter leaf? Is it not just blended bitter leaf that you're drinking? This thing is bitter as hell. But you say it's healthy. It's removing toxins for your system. Like, ugh, that is just it's blended bitter leaf. I beg you should stop deceiving yourselves. Because before you went to go on school abroad, like your grandmother has already been grinding bitter leaf and drinking it, straight and at an affordable price. Instead, you go somewhere, somebody will tell you that they're giving you kale or they will giving you this, they're giving you that, they give you some fancy name. You now be drinking something. You say you're cleaning your toxin. It's too much money. That's the problem. So, yeah, this guy with the cyber cafe and the co-working space. Okay, the work we did with him was this. When I first hooked up with this guy, he was part of a program in Lagos with the Fate Foundation. Now, the Fate Foundation is an NGO. They are interested in entrepreneurial development. So people who have business ideas, they coach you up, give you classes, things like that. Now, they started doing this program with the OCIF, that is Orange Corners International Foundation. I think it's part of the royal family of. I'm really, really sorry. I really should get my facts together. And it's a good thing now. Those people don't listen to this podcast. They go, they vex. They'll say, how can our partners not know our name? So the Orange Corners International Foundation, royal family of Denmark, be Netherlands or whatever, more than Novex, but in my own mind, all of you are the same. When I see you guys, all I think about is Vikings and Thor and all that. Yeah, I know it sounds racist, but honestly, that's just what I think about. And plus, you guys are tall, like really, really tall. I always wanted to be a 7-footer. In fact, maybe I should jackpot to Denmark so that whatever it is that they are eating there, I'll eat, and maybe I can catch up and be 7 feet tall. So, Fate Foundation was in partnership with the Orange Corners Innovation Fund, whatever fund. They still are doing that. And so that's how I got hooked up with this guy through the program because I was one of the mentors. And he had two business ideas that he was in the incubation stage. They were at the incubation stage at the time. So there was this cyber cafe which was running, and then he wanted to do sort of like a Pan-African, I won't say video game because yes, it's a video game, but it was more about like virtual reality and not virtual reality. What's this thing called? When you have a different life online, what is this thing called? Like the metaverse and these sorts of things. I can't remember what the technology is called. So that was the game. So I was just trying to help him figure out, okay, which one is a better idea, which one has promise, which one can we validate to be sure will get traction. Like are Nigerians really into all this thing? Living a double life online and blah de blah. Is Pan Africanism still a thing? Are people even interested in this idea of we are Africa, we are one great united continent? Because at the end of the day, this is business. We can have all fancy ideas as we want, but at the end of the day, is this something that people will pay money for? That is what market validation is about. Those of you in the tech space, you like to say product market fit. That is the whole idea about product market fit. I can think that this is a wonderful idea. I can think that this thing needs to be done. Me and my wife and my family members, we can think this is a beautiful idea. But if at the end of the day, people are not willing to pay shishi, they're not willing to pay guy for this thing, then it's not going to work. So those are the things I was trying to figure out with this fellow who was part of the Faith Foundation program and also with Orange Corners International. Uh, yeah. Okay. Then there were also prizes, and I think that was the first time I got a prize winner. Because I can't remember how many euros he got. I won't call the amount so that people won't decode who the guy is and then go and start begging him for euros. But the guy, he got a couple thousand euros, and he won. And I've noticed that since that time, it's been like 3 4 years. I've noticed that anybody who passes through me through that program, the person wins the prize. The person wins the prize. So that's how this year now, when the last winner, when she won, I was looking at my wife. I was saying, babe, it be like say I got the magic. Now anybody I touch, the person turns to gold. They win that money. They win that euros. And then I now picked up the phone. I called one of the organizers and I started harassing the guy that, look, what's up now? Every year, these people just they win, thousands of euros, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, 30,000, 40,000. I said, how far now? So that money should come to us. The guy laughed. He said, I understand. I understand. I said, look, bro, this one is beyond. I understand. I understand. I'm coaching people for you and see as they win prize up and down. And then me, meanwhile, I said, what's going on? So anyway, that's how we left the conversation. And of course, God willing, I'm sure that the next person that I handle from Faith Foundation and OCIF is going to be a prize winner as well. So if you are listening to this podcast and you are currently with the Faith Foundation, you have been accepted for the OCIF program. Ask for me by name. Ask for me. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can make you win that money. Win the thousands of euros. Change your life. And if you're an organizer, you're an orga in Faith Foundation or you're an orga in OCIF and you're hearing this thing, people need to love us on up. I say love us. Love up. You need to love up on us. See as euros are just flying everywhere. Some of those euros should fly into our pockets. You understand? Eh? Help me to help you. Sorry about that. Recovering from a cold. So, where was I? Anyway, eventually the guy jettisoned the gaming idea, and most of the funds went back to promoting the co-working space and the cyber cafe. And the last time I spoke to him, everything was going okay, and it was nice. It was nice. But then the guy broke my heart. He broke my heart. He broke up with his longtime girlfriend. I said, what's going on? Why are people afraid of marriage? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But anyway, I've already gone on the marriage rant, so let me not go on that rant again. But seriously speaking, please, people should stop being afraid of marriage. It's not that hard. You find somebody, he's a reasonable somebody, she's a reasonable somebody, you guys seem like your best friends. It's okay. Discern. Talk to your people. Talk to Momsy, talk to Popsy, talk to your cousins, talk to a couple of people, hang out, go on a couple of dates. You know, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Then, let's see. Okay, also worked with someone who is in the packaged snacks business. Okay, I already mentioned that. I think that was my first podcast for 2026 because I noticed that her products have been accepted into Zcrest. Zcrest have this thing they do at the end of the year. They call it the Taste of Nigeria, where they support Nigerian entrepreneurs. Zcrest, they're into wealth management. And so they send out hampers called the Taste of Nigeria, and they only stock it with exclusively Nigerian made stuff. She was also a prize winner for the Faith Foundation and the OCIF. So that was just nice to see. Like, oh, one of my former students, as in she done a make wave. In fact, I'm looking at her product now. Like this one is no more Fury. She don't launch. It's all over Nigeria. So that was really, really good to see. Then, okay, the last winner of the Faith Foundation OCIF program, she was into cyclical fashion. In fact, when I hear cyclical fashion, I was wondering what does bicycle have to do with fashion again? But actually, it turns out it's more about recycling. That you can take waste that comes from, fashion processes and use that to make new garments, that people will sell, and then things like that. and it was an exciting project to work on because, well, first of all, I was totally ignorant of. Well, first of all, I have no fashion sense at all. In fact, 2 days ago, my wife told me that, babe, sure, you show me shaggy. I said, show you shaggy how? That since you marry, you have not heard of another woman, you've not heard of anything. I've never looked at any other babe. She said, I know. And then my wife said, I'm talking about dressing. That's when I squeezed my face. And then she said, babe, you know. I said, yes, I know. She said, you know, you show me shaggy. I said, I know. She said, in fact, you have shown me shaggy Pro Max. I mean, they laugh. I said, babe, what is all this now? She said, look at the way you're dressing. Somebody will see you outside now and say that that's my husband. Yeah? Are you being fair to me? Anyway, that's talk for another day. But don't worry. When I hammer, eh, I will overhaul my wardrobe. As in when people see me, I will hire a personal stylist. Don't worry. Just pray for your boy. When I hammer, when you see my wardrobe, oh, I'll be too much. Where was I? Cyclical fashion. So I have no fashion sense. Because of that, I wanted to work with this lady, this fashion entrepreneur. And then at the end of the day, like I say, it's all about market validation. Is this a good idea? Yes, we should recycle. But these things that we're recycling, can we sell it? And can we sell it at a good price? Does it make business sense? Is going to give revenue so that we can plow back into the business. Then, briefly, try to do some work with someone who was in the dredging space and the marine construction. And that was the biggest lesson that I learned when it comes to managing your reputation. Because I said, we spoke, and then I said, no problem, I'll sell for you. That one was not me coaching him or anything. It was me trying to sell his services on a percentage basis. Because all the contracts that happen in this dredging space, this one is not million. It's not million, 111. It's not single. It is, double digits. You understand? 200 million, 500 million, 800 million, 900, as in big money like that. So once we spoke, I look at the guy and say, with these kind of figures, like I'm okay working on the percentage. And so we agree, and then I started. But then, unfortunately, something happened. I called the first guy. We started talking about the project, talking about the contract. The moment he heard my principal's name, principal, in business, when a principal is somebody who has an agent. So in that case, I was the agent. So the moment he heard my principal's name, he said he's no longer interested. I said, hey? The guy said he's no longer interested. That so long as it is this guy, he called the company name. He now called my principal by name. I said, oh, okay. I just left it. Then I was working on another project, another prospect. Then as we were talking now, he said, oh, did you say so and so, maritime construction? I said, yes. He now called him again by name. He said, okay. He said, this is what he told me, and I quote, he said, young man, I'm going to be very frank with you because you sound like you're a good person and I don't want you to rubbish your name. I said, yes, sir. He said, that person that you're working for, just leave him. And I said, of course, I told him, thank you very much for the advice. And I wanted to know exactly what was up. And the guy poured his heart out to me and he told me everything. And by the time he finished, I said, you know what? Let me just leave this guy. So I didn't give him the feedback that, bro, your reputation stinks. That I called two random contacts in your space. And the first person said that so long as it's you, the guy know they do. And then the second person said, leave this guy. Don't sully your reputation. So that's how I just wove down. I just left. So I didn't actually close any deal in dredging and maritime construction work. But it sounds like good business, and I didn't know that boys are making serious money doing things like this. So that one didn't go anywhere. Why did I include it in the list? Since we didn't work. Okay, I included it in the list just to let you guys know that look, when we talk about these things about trust and reputational damage, like it's a big deal. It could have been a coincidence, but what are the odds? What are the odds that I had a list of people? Not many. I think I had 5. The first 2 people I called had such a visceral reaction to this guy's name. They know the company name and they called him by name. The first person says, so long as it's this guy, I am not interested. The second person told me, you seem like you're a nice guy. Don't rubbish yourself. And this is why. And then he gave me the horror stories. See, sometimes it's not worth it. You want to close a deal, because of that, you do some sharp moves and then you collect an extra million here and there. but then you rubbish your name and then you rub people off the wrong way, and then your name travels far in the industry. But like I said, it could have been a coincidence, but man, I didn't want to risk it, so I just left it. Then, okay, another person, I didn't get to work with this guy. This person was in the refining space. They were distilling some oil and gas products so that he could make marine engine oil. So he was one of the first people who reached out to me on the podcast, not for consulting. He just wanted my opinion on a couple of things. So why did I put this on the list? Okay, yes, I didn't work with him, but the reason I put it on the list, these last two in particular on the list, was just to let you guys know that, man, boys and girls are making serious bank in Nigeria. Serious bank. Different industries, different trades, different things you've never heard about. I had no idea that dredging was a thing. I had never seen a dredger. And I had no idea that, uh, like, the only engine oil I know was engine oil for car and then engine oil for lorry. I didn't know that there's also engine oil for ships and for seafaring vessels. I didn't know that they have their own special kind of engine oil and that there's money to be made in refining those kinds of products. And that you can build your own refinery and stuff. But anyway, stuff is going on in Nigeria, so shine your eyes and be inspired. We can make it. We can make it. Anyway, so sorry for keeping here for 45 minutes, but like I said, just clearing my desk, and I've seen that these are the range of people that I've worked with so far, and I thought, okay, not bad, making some progress, but looking forward to even more progress in 2026 and beyond. I'm praying the same for you, your business as well. Then, yeah, I think that's it basically. Okay, also, remember, for those of you who are multi hyphenates, you have lots of business ideas. There's something I've been talking about today that I mentioned a lot today, which is market validation. Market validation is proving that this product or this service has demand, that it is viable, that people are willing to pay for it. It's an idea that you've seen weaving through all these things. So, for the guy who had cyber cafe and co-working space, okay, this gaming app that you want to do, is it viable? Can we get product market fit? Is there market demand? How many people will be willing to pay for this idea? Then, for the fashion entrepreneur, cyclical fashion, yes, these things are nice, but is it viable? Can we validate the demand? Are people going to pay enough? Are there enough people who like these kind of things, who will pay for this thing at so margin that will make this business make sense for you? So, too many entrepreneurs, the reason why they fail is they start off with the wrong idea. Because of that, I have another training coming up, and that is on how we're going to solve this problem in 3 easy steps. We're going to make sure that you don't pick the wrong idea. If you have 3, 4, 5, 6 different ideas, we'll help you pick a winner. I'll help you validate demand. Make sure that this is an idea that there is demand for, that people are willing to pay for. And then we're also going to help create a selling system for you. The whole point of this training is I need you guys to stop juggling 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ideas. In fact, the reason why I'm coming up with this training is because too many of you are asking me all these questions. I can do this. I can also do this. I can do that. I can also do that. My true self is this, but I believe that I have potential for that. And my ideal calling is so and so. What should I do? That's the whole point of the training. So there's a training now. Let's sit down. Let's iron out all these things. Stop juggling 3, 4 ideas without making a single kobo from one. All you have to do is call me. Send me a WhatsApp message. Send me a text message on 080-6466-2140. Just let me know you're interested and let's get talking. Let's get your business moving. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. And even if you're not interested in the program, but you just want to say what's up, you want to say hello, you just want to connect, it's not a problem. I like talking to every single person who finds the podcast and who likes the podcast. Again, the number is 080-6466-2140. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I will catch you all some other time.